Okay, so you just bought your first tree stand. What do you do now? The first thing you want to do is put on your safety harness and get it fitted to you per the manufacturer's instructions. And once you have your safety harness fitted correctly, the next thing you want to do is you want to take your stand out and you want to learn how it works, how to set it up properly. Again, refer to the manufacturer's instructions on your specific model. I'm sure there's a few YouTube videos on your specific model on how to use it. And then what you want to do is you either want to go out, to the woods or into your backyard, and you want to start practicing setting up your tree stand with both of your feet standing on the ground. You don't want to learn how to set up a tree stand 16 feet in the air for the first time. You want to do it while you're securely standing on the ground. Set up your tree stand at waist level and practice putting it on the tree, taking it off, and stepping onto it, and then clipping into your safety harness. And once you're pretty comfortable hanging your tree stand and clipping into your safety harness, the next thing you want to do is work out whatever type of climbing method that you're going to use. If it's going to be a hang-on tree stand like this, if you're using like a climbing stick, or if you're using a climbing stand, what you want to do is you want to practice climbing, again, whichever method you choose, at a really low distance. So you might want to use one climbing stick. You might want to go up, if you're using a climbing stand, up just a few feet, 3-4 feet, up and down. Again, just practice using everything, getting used to it, and then you can work your way up higher. Just like we practice shooting our bows all off season so we're proficient, we want to practice using our hunting gear so that when it comes time to use your tree stand in your climbing system, you're familiar with it. Again, we're going to be using all this stuff early in the morning, before dawn, and after dark, so you want to be really familiar with it so you can do it in the dark. Now that you are really comfortable setting up your tree stand, taking it down, climbing up in a tree, using all your safety gear like a lineman's belt or a lifeline, as well as your safety harness, you're really comfortable in that arena, the next thing you can do is you can start practicing shooting from your tree stand. So there's a few things that you need to know when you're shooting out of a tree stand. First is that you need to bend at your waist. If you bend using your spine, you're going to change your form, and you definitely don't want that. So bend at your waist, and opening up your stance might make it easier for you to bend at your waist, especially at an extreme angle. So speaking of extreme downward angles, so let's say you're 16 feet up and you're shooting at a target that's 5 to 10 yards. One thing to keep in mind is that's going to change your aiming point on an animal. You're going to want to aim higher in the chest cavity so that arrow exits on the other side of the animal still. If you aim too low in the chest cavity on a steep angled shot, that arrow can exit on the same side it enters, which means you're only going to get one lung. And obviously we want to hit 2 lungs every time we shoot at an animal. So that's a big thing to think about when you're taking a steep angled shot. So the third point that's different from shooting on flat ground versus in a tree stand is the distances. So just like it's a trigonometry equation where the sightline distance from a tree stand to an animal is going to be longer than the actual distance, which is the distance from the ground to that animal. Having a rangefinder that has angle compensation on it makes a big difference there. It just does the math for you. You range something, you don't even have to think about it. If you don't have a rangefinder that has that function, you can always just range your landmarks around your tree stand from the ground. So the final tip for using your new tree stand is spending time really making sure that your tree stand is going to be silent. There's great products on the market for making sure that anywhere where there's a contact point is going to be quiet. Let's say you hit your bow against it, or while you're setting it up, you don't want any metallic noises. And you also want to really work out your system for carrying your tree stand in and out with, if you're using hang-on and sticks, working that system together, making sure everything stays really tight as you're walking in the woods. That'll avoid a lot of the noise and jingling that could happen as you're walking in. All right, everyone, so those are my 3 main tips for the new tree stand owner. Practice shooting out of it, practice setting it up, and work out your system for carrying it in and out of the woods, and you'll have a much more successful fall. I'm Scott with Bowhunting 360. We'll see you all in the next video.